Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you're the problem, even when deep down you know you're not? That is exactly what narcissistic abuse can feel like. It's confusing, it's destabilizing, and often invisible to the outside world. Hello, I'm Jo Nicholson. I'm a psychotherapist. Thank you for joining me, and welcome back to my channel. Here we explore human behaviour, why we think, feel, and act as we do. If you're new, I'm so glad you're here. So, narcissistic abuse. It isn't always about shouting or name calling or obvious cruelty. More often, it's subtle patterns of manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional exploitation that wear you down over time. The tactics can be so covert that you start doubting your memory, your judgment, and even your worth. In this video, I'm going to share 9 random but powerful examples of narcissistic abuse. Some that you'll probably recognise and others that might surprise you. If you've ever felt like you're constantly walking on eggshells or like your reality is always being twisted, you might see yourself in these examples. And remember, if this resonates with you, it is not your fault. First one is gaslighting. Let's start there. Probably the most well-known tactic. Gaslighting is when someone tries to distort your perception of reality. They might deny things they've said, twist the facts, or insist that you're overreacting or being too sensitive. For example, maybe you bring up something hurtful the other person said last week, and they respond with, "I never said that. You're imagining things." Or maybe they change small details to make you question your memory. So why is this abusive? Well, because it creates chronic self-doubt. Over time, you stop trusting your own mind and instead you start relying on them to tell you what's real and what isn't. And this is a really dangerous dynamic. You see, it requires you to take their distorted reality and to suppress your own gut instinct and to acquiesce. So pay attention to your gut instinct. Trust it, hold it, don't let it diminish. Don't let yourself be diminished. Now, it's also worth saying that gaslighting is often misunderstood and can be used in as if it's just a lie. So some people believe lying equals gaslighting. That's not exactly true, because gaslighting is lying plus plus. A lie is, say a husband comes home, he's late from work, the wife says, "Why are you late?" And he says, "Oh, I was just caught up at work," but actually was in the pub. That's a lie. But with gaslighting, there is so much manipulation, and actually it can almost be crazy making. It can make you doubt yourself so much. So gaslighting is not just lying, it is so much more than that. Let's go to the second one, the silent treatment. This is another classic tool for a narcissist. And it's when that narcissistic person withdraws affection, attention, or communication as a form of punishment, like a withholding. There's silence, indifference, or maybe even a passive aggressive silence. Let's say you set a boundary or you disagree with them. They might shut you down completely and ignore you for days, or act like you don't even exist. The impact is powerful. You might well feel abandoned and panicked, desperate to fix things. It forces you into a cycle where you are always the one trying to repair the relationship, even when you did nothing wrong. The other is inviting you to fawn, to apologise, to make up, probably for something you didn't actually do, to chase them and beg them for affection, for attention, for a little kindness, or for an end to the silent, cold treatment. But you see, their silence is strategic. Perhaps they're aware of what they're doing, perhaps they're not. But what is most important is that you are able to tolerate that silence. Yes, you will be anxious. You might well be hurt. But make sure the meaning you give that silence is that it is the other person's stuff. It's not yours. Anchor into what makes you feel peaceful and safe. Your friends, your job, your hobbies. And tolerate the silence. When you respond differently, the other person does not get the same fuel from you. In a way, you are silently saying, I will not play this game anymore. You do have the strength to respond in a different way. Number 3, triangulation. This is when the narcissist brings in a third person to maintain control or to stir up insecurity in you. For instance, they might say, well, even Sarah thinks you're too controlling. You're the only one who doesn't see it. Or they might constantly compare you to an ex-partner or to a sibling if it's a parent who's being narcissistic, subtly suggesting that you never quite measure up. This tactic isolates you. It makes you feel like you're being ganged up on, and it chips away at your sense of being valued in that relationship. I've heard the people involved in the triangulation being called flying monkeys, like the scary grey monkeys in the movie The Wizard of Oz. The narcissistic individual is drawing troops to them, a little collective of others who have bought into their false narrative, their false story, and are working on their behalf, often from the best of intentions. They may show up to persuade or coax you, to shame you, or to make you feel guilty, or in an extreme version, they may even covertly bully you. So just observe that triangle rather than being drawn into explaining or agreeing with what they're saying. Number 4, love bombing. So this is in romantic relationship. Early in many narcissistic romantic relationships, you'll experience love bombing. This looks like intense affection, constant compliments, grand gestures, or texting all day long, making you feel like the most important person in the world. It feels amazing at first, and it hooks you emotionally. But here's the thing, once you're invested, the affection often gets pulled away. That withdrawal leaves you confused and craving the original high, which kept you stuck in the cycle. You will have seen the best, sweetest, most generous version of that other person, which makes you believe in the best of them. When they turn, because they usually do, you will have a tremendous sense of loss and a deep yearning to get back to the person they were. Number 5, projection. Now, projection is when the narcissist accuses you of the very things they're doing. It's such a common one. Maybe they call you controlling, when in reality, they're the one monitoring your every move. Or they accuse you of being selfish, even though they rarely consider your needs. Projection works because it makes you defensive. You feel pressured to prove that you're not being controlling, that you're not guilty of what you've been accused of, which then takes the focus off their behaviour. Here's a wee metaphor to illustrate a way to deal with projection. How about you just don't play ball? By this I mean, it's a bit like if someone throws a ball at you to catch it. Don't catch it. Simply let the ball drop and bounce on the ground. Number 6, narcissists will sometimes use public settings to mock you, to belittle you, make you the butt of their joke. They might disguise it as teasing, but it leaves you feeling embarrassed and undermined in front of others. Why is this abusive? Because it chips away at your dignity and it makes you hesitant to speak up or to trust your social circle. It's a way of controlling you through shame. Perhaps they tell you that you are too sensitive, or you're no fun, or you just can't take a joke. All you need to remember is that you know the truth. If they said something hurtful, it was hurtful. Full stop. The truth. Hold it. Number 7, moving the goalposts. With moving the goalposts, no matter what you do, it's never enough. You might meet a standard today, but tomorrow that standard changes. Maybe you plan a nice evening for them, but instead of gratitude, they say, "Why didn't you do this last week?" Or, "If you really cared, you would have done even more." The goal is to keep you chasing approval you'll never receive, which is exhausting and erodes your confidence. This means that you will always be on the back foot, feeling inadequate, even bad, or maybe even ashamed. As if you got it wrong, you might start berating yourself, thinking, "I'm so stupid. Oh, I should have known that. Oh, I should have done that." Do not engage in that. Do not give them permission to make you feel guilty. Stay with the evidence. You did what was asked of you with the goalposts initially set out. Stay with the evidence. And number 8, not all abuse is emotional. One other form is financial. A narcissistic partner might restrict your access to money, criticise your spending, or guilt trip you for wanting independence. For example, they might monitor every purchase or discourage you from taking a promotion because it will take too much time away from the relationship. Financial control keeps you dependent on them, making it harder to leave even when you want to. Some people I've worked with in the past have built up some resources, hidden resources, in case they need an escape hatch. If that is possible for you, even a small amount each month, do it. And finally, number 9, smear campaigns. Oh boy. When a narcissist feels threatened, maybe you've pulled away, or maybe you've set boundaries, they may well spread lies or half-truths about you to others. They might present themselves as the victim, saying things like, "I've done everything I can for them, but they're so ungrateful." Or they might twist private details of your life to damage your reputation. The result is devastating. You could feel isolated, misunderstood, or betrayed by people who you thought you could trust. If this is happening to you, it's so hard, but it's time to say no more. Think of yourself like a strong oak tree with a great network of deep, wide roots. Even in a storm, the branches will sway back and forward, but the tree will not be uprooted. It is steady, it is strong. So keep being who you are. Now, this may seem subtle in the face of a smear campaign, but keeping being who you are is vital. The truth is, more often than not, this is a long game, which is hard and painful. In the face of such unfairness, of such lies, in my experience, in time, those who smear are eventually exposed. Do you know that phrase, give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves? But it is often the long game. Okay, so let's recap on what we've talked about, the 9 examples of narcissistic abuse. Now, there's more than these, but I just picked the main 9 that I work with most frequently with clients who are overcoming narcissistic abuse. We started with gaslighting and then silent treatment, triangulation, love bombing, projection, public humiliation, moving the goalposts, financial control, and smear campaigns. If any of these examples hit close to home, please know you are not alone, and none of this is your fault. These are manipulative techniques designed to control. They are not reflections of your worth. I'd love to hear from you. Which of those examples have you experienced, or which one stood out the most? Please share in the comments. Your story could help someone else feel less alone. And if this video was helpful, please like, share and subscribe. It's one of the best ways to spread awareness and support for people going through this. Finally, if you're currently in a relationship that feels unsafe, overwhelming, please reach out for support, whether it's a trusted friend, family member, a therapist, or a hotline in your country. Don't go through this alone. Thank you for spending this time with me, and take gentle care of yourself. If you would like to know more about narcissistic abuse and learn a fantastic tool to help keep you calm and steady, please check out the next video. I'll see you there. Bye for now.